Welcome back to Thrifty Garage. My name is Carson, and in today's video we're going to be comparing heavy-duty truck tires. We've got three different tires here on our work trucks. We've got BFG, Cooper, and Falken Wildpeaks. In today's video we're going to talk about these three different trucks. All of these tires are an all-terrain, load range E with the 3-peak mountain snowflake rating. And first up we've got the Falken Wildpeak. These are a LT 285/70 R17. And this is the Falken Wildpeak, and this is the AT3W. Same size tire on our other 2500 truck. These are the BFG or BFGoodrich, and this is the All-Terrain TA KO2. Also in a 285/70 R17 tire. And on the Duramax, we have an 18-inch wheel. These are the Cooper Discoverer AT3 XLT, and these are a 275/70 R18 tire. Again, all three mud and snow rated, all three 3-peak mountain snowflake rating. The BFGs are rated for 50,000 miles, the Falken Wildpeaks are rated for 55,000 miles, and the Coopers are rated for 60,000 miles. Brand new, the BFGs have 1530 seconds, the Coopers have 1630 seconds, and the Falken Wildpeaks have 1830 seconds tread depth. The BFGs have the least amount of miles on them. These tires have 6,370 miles. These came off my LBZ Duramax right before we sold it to Carvana, so they didn't get a ton of miles. Just finished rebuilding this truck. You can see a little bit of paint difference here. So we ended up throwing these set of tires on here with that rebuild. So hoping to get some more life out of these tires, get some more experience. But given the miles we put on it, given the 50,000 miles rating, we have about 87% of the tire life remaining according to the manufacturer specifications and warranty. These Cooper Discoverer AT3 XLT tires have 14,091 miles on them, which means we have about 76% of the tire life remaining according to the 55,000 mile manufacturer warranty. These Falken Wildpeak AT3W tires have a little over 23,000 miles on them, which is about 58% of the 55,000 mile manufactured warranted on these tires. This is actually my second set of tires on these. My last set of tires only went 22,000 miles. That was set up on my LBZ truck before we put the BFGs on it, but they were set up with a stock wheel, which is a little bit narrower and caused a little more tire wear. So now we'll get into how much tire life we've used up on these tires. In order to get an accurate apples-to-apples comparison, what I ended up doing is taking the original tire depth, subtracting 230 seconds, which is the end of life or recommended replacement, and then taking our actual front and rear depth measurements, and then taking the average depths of the front and rear tires, and then subtracting 230 seconds, and then taking that and dividing it by the original tread depth, which gives us an average usable life on these tires based on a very linear curve. If these wear out faster at the end of life, that won't be very accurate, and if they wear out shorter, that won't be very accurate. But just to give a good comparison of the tires, I think that's the best way to do it. Based on our mileage, these BFG tires should be at about 87% tread depth, but we are currently only at about 69% measuring the front and rear. Based on our mileage, these Coopers have 76% of their tire life remaining. However, according to the tread depths, we only have 45% remaining. Based on the mileage of these Falken Wildpeaks, we had 58% of our tread life remaining. However, actual tread depth, we're showing about 43% tread life remaining, which makes the Falken Wildpeaks the obvious winner here as far as tread life and longevity, especially when used in a heavy towing application setting. All three of these tires are going for about $300 a piece right now, which is quite a bit of money. And that's a lot of the reason I do these tests. You can see behind the 2017 truck, we've got our dump trailer there. You can see out back here, we've got our Diamond C gooseneck trailer and our Bobcat T66 skid steer. We're towing it on average about a 14,000 pound trailer, and that's a lot of the reason the longevity on these tires is not super great. Our tread life just doesn't last super long. Doesn't matter what tires we put on these trucks. we don't seem to be getting the greatest mileage out of these, and that's why I've kind of gone back to using factory sizes. Tried doing the oversized off-road tires with the LBZ Duramax, and they just didn't last like what we needed them to. So these BFGs have a lot of tread left on them. Should work good for us. As far as the best tire to hook up, traction, all of that, I do believe the BFGs have a slight edge, maybe 10% better than the other two tires. Longevity on these, we really haven't seen because we're still very early on in the tread life. So that's really hard to paint a picture on those. The Cooper Discoverer AT3 XLTs are a good tire. Of the three tires, traction, durability, all that, I would put this third on the list. Is my least favorite, but I've had worse tires in the past, so not really too upset about those. And the Falken Wildpeaks are my current favorites for the business, for longevity. Does that mean I won't buy the BFGs? Not necessarily. It'll just depend on the truck. The L5P Duramax is my personal truck. The other two work trucks are 6.0 gas trucks, and so that plays into this as well. So, you know, am I going to want the BFGs on my truck and be willing to not have as good of mileage longevity? Perhaps might be the case, but all three of these trucks have really good tread depths, with the exception of our flatbed truck. We actually had this in the shop a year ago, and they said that the tires need to be replaced. I ended up kind of going back and forth with them, but these still have a lot of tread left on them, so I think this is the better tread. So we ended up keeping these on for another season, put on another 10,000 miles on them, and I'm hoping to get another 5,000 miles out of these tires still yet. So I'm not sure why our auto mechanic thought these needed to be replaced, but I think just technicians are not always as good as they used to be. So these tires are getting a little low. Where's our tread bar at? Right here. Still a great tire. I do think when these get bald, these do get pretty slippery, which is not always the best. But I have had a set of bald BFGs and they're pretty slippery too, so nothing's really that great when it's bald. Hopefully that information is beneficial. It certainly was interesting for me to look back on this and see what has lasted longest. I get a lot of questions on Facebook groups of what tires are the best, and I have a lot of experience here with different tires, and this is part of the reason I've tried different tires, because I really want to know for my business what's best for us. And I've always kind of said I'm coming down to the BFGs and the Falken Wildpeaks. It's really my top two that I recommend. I think all three are great tires. All three are in the same price range. All three are exponentially more expensive than they were a couple years ago. But the Falken Wildpeaks obviously are better for longevity and mileage. So hopefully that information arms you with what you need if you're in an application where you're towing trailers, you're towing heavy, and need something like an all-terrain. There are some better options for highway tires. These are what I found best for my landscaping business, where I'm on and off-road, and I need an all-terrain that's a little bit aggressive but also can have some durability and withstand what we put it through. Biggest thing I found over the years is having the right wheel specs. So my LBZ Duramax had a 6.5-inch wide wheel, and I had a 16-inch wheel with a 285 70/16 or something like that. Really fat balloon tires, and they wore really bad in the center. I had one set of tires, only lasted 5,000 miles. The Falken Wildpeaks lasted the longest on that truck at 22,000 miles. We're already past 22,000 miles on this truck, and I think we're going to go another 5,000 or 10,000 miles pretty easily. I think I said we're at 43%. So we still have a lot of average tread depth to push us through on that truck still. We might have 15,000 miles on that still. So having the right wheel and tire setup makes a big difference. Everyone on the forum says those old classic trucks, the GMT 800s, you can go the 285 70/16 tires, no problem. No tire. They say it all day long, every day, that it doesn't have wear. I absolutely had wear, and a lot of that's because of the gooseneck hitch and towing trailers and putting all that weight on your rear tires Doesn't matter what your tire pressure is, those things just burn through those tires super quick. So right tire size makes a huge difference. Right wheel size, load range, all important factors in longevity on your tires. Tire pressure as well. We usually run 60 psi in the front, 80 psi in the rear if we're consistently towing. If we're not towing all the time here in the wintertime, we've actually dropped this truck down to 60 front and back because we don't need the weight as much. We actually have more weight on the front with the plow, depending on if we've got a pallet in the back, if we're running salt. But that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, please subscribe. We appreciate it. I think we're a little over 20,000 subscribers now, and we appreciate everyone that has subscribed over the years. So thanks for watching Thrifty Garage, and we'll see you on the next one.